coming up in the next countdown LBL. Coming up next, next video, title, nextVideo.description. Skip to this video now. Transcript for an update on the royal engagement announcement. I'm happier and you're watching ABC News Telegraph. Thank you. Thinking pallets on this rainy day, but it's hip. Joining is Robert Jobs. AMOCO. One could very content to act. Are these mountains and camera, evenings and up. The first thing HES here is, it looked happy though. About 60 photographers and camera crews that. But they seem to have a spring in this that she was clinging Omniture him. I don't know pretty tightly. Ellen thanked Veterans Island Dam. When these questions don't get fired out there. Harry was cart-like. SHES usually so. I think. When did you first? Though she was the one among us, not just a moment plus side story about putting the lives originally couple doors who plays together. HE's protecting her from what is something SHES fully used in terms of Congress is an actress and an very famous actress. Brooke. I think this is a whole new stage of the particular funny she left it. Should they blown her away on this? I know. Let's send your answering questions about your personal life. Is actresses and actors beautiful thing as the number tucked at your personally she is having to thank. I'm very happy and proud, and we hit Chris here that he found right away. So what happens next for Meghan? This is an American actress, of course. SHES very things that you mention lives in Toronto publishing. The jury went pretty much success authority doing that. They've said that the US living molten politics, which I find that it crosses home plate. Tell policy is humored. You can see what in America takes place just over there will be made. This would have encouraged the small cottage on the year 2 bedrooms to grow up 2 rooms down, says social. That we look into the upon another homeless will probably in the English countryside, and that will be the next step. Postal of the moment there will be preparing for an interview with a have in the incident with the BBC talking about the relationship in the Be More Harm Not Try to exam for your starter poverty. Central France ground to ground. Great you. So what are we expecting in his interview? Anything. What do you expect you're from against me? Well, I think he'll be quite look at children daily. Do we give too much away? They would have been briefing about what to side to him about. How does told him about the ring coming yourself last couple of diamonds in the North Diana's collection, but also moved from dorms and Botswana where they go close affection where they went home, all of it. So I think that will be a lot of pleasant chat when how one of the women who can afford to what are they what's next. Are you going to be, working together to child has something to these things come out its new book in June, of course. I think Harry will be for retaking the lead to actually most of voice that because craziest thing and answering questions about his year and Mac and much more in the last couple of years. Of course, what he thinks street and together from what we do not under Croatian looked from test and open. Obviously that's what's good about this relationship, has its own more than munitions from it, just makes gracious America. I'm sure that sheriff's independent woman SHES older than him by that probably isn't good. HES gone from him, just stumbled upon this. It really get our involvement in the possible marriage as well. I'm thankful to forge alliances between countries them and things of this. This is a laugh. Watch him. I think that everybody would wish Harry all the best. I'm happy myself. Took much happiness has had in his life. Just like his older brother who also married 11th. Quest announced to Darlington when he thinking that would say they see tonight and rented a Harry. Those around them from Simon on those around him sure should be obviously thrilled. SHES it was always a judge. I'm sure she would please salute. Try to judge from Harry this thing. That must be the mom. Actually sat pot full bush. Well, William Harry in the front of the moms know to be around. I think that's it will be quad mode when that becomes the bigger moments like this, just that Prince Charles is that with a flat the mom does not live the father. They're going to be live in the Kensington Palace where she lived where they grew up with 2 young boys. I think Kim that in turn places in the ointment that must decide problem. And there's no one really pregnant every and how much are allowed. Patrick Kane of course got testing will be very important, but just everybody does, and I think that Bush SHES very experienced SHES a woman of the world SHES 6 years old. It will be quite tough to live to understand that the slight nuances of what goes on it and didn't remember the rules. Probably one of the you've got Jennings family history is our digital world championship and its share of bombarding the Don't have to Simpson and the brothers. So I'm sure they'll do it. Ghana, it's better than not having to stop him. Prince Charles. It's you guys are very open to welcome them and ensure that relationship will develop as well. What can we expect from I think that helps now become engaged shes moving here. Happy Easter and publicly. Why aren't think that both the Republican line will have been quite quickly. I think that we looking already at war trying to do in charge. You want support. SHES a very big philanthropist anyway. SHES been unity and in terms of work in Africa and around the world, but I think this should be looking noting that being the world's most famous princess or buttresses she probably will become on marriage is important. I think she can use that fame in such a huge way, and in terms building bringing money, in terms of the actual intention to bring upon reaching the causes of the huge and revitalizing the image and modernizing the image of course that's a different tests at the royal family of Kensington Palace, and well I think it will definitely do that. And Sims of Brands Royal, it's given a huge lift me. The father SHES going to be an American princess of the biggest and most famous royal family in the world. We don't married she reportedly giving, where Harry will be given thoughtful. Joe is probably didn't do Sussex year energy transfer of royal due to too afraid. I'm unsure what was about to become Duchess. So I think and that's to be huge in total. In terms of the way that America looks at how about the road and royal princess. Some alien problem if every American downstream I can speak. I'm sure there will be a royal trip to America very very quickly after the wedding, and we don't know exactly when the weather will be. This ordinance brings when he 18. There's so much going on in April. There was Witherope who enjoys maybe go the Commonwealth Heads of Gum Summit, which is huge in London. I think HES probably going to be my oldest boats, and that this is because still think there will be a good chunks of them going to Canada. So America in the some for a week plus shall be a priority. Will be going to Australia in September of next June. For the impetus James' parents think worked hard. SHES of course this today plunged, and so Bobby and other big things are Shabab, at least two I would think. Big royal duels taking place during that time about something to get used to the cordial stimulus in the munition like that might be something of a bit of a shock too. And finally in the immediate future, hi even those contestants placing Christmas, do you think here with a rough and leaner media in LA? Difficult to say. I mean normally they don't join the Queen for, actually, at will, Christmas celestial marriage, but I mean I may make an exception for that. The reality is out hustle them. May be clear about what it disapproves of. Well, you know, and tried some private Simon and in hopes of fumbles led in, and who knows that more than likely that this different groups does that differ prisons and are not disappearing today. We will hear more from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle later today when they get their first broadcast interview as a public couple. Everything HES anniversary journey, and lots might come again. In Molly Hunter even watching easing up. This transcript has been automatically generated and may not be 100% accurate.